In 2023, Ford quietly reversed course on a chunk of its AI-driven quality inspection rollout. They had replaced human line inspectors with computer vision systems, and the defect detection rates were actually worse in certain categories than what their experienced workers were catching. Ford hasn't published a final dollar figure, but industry analysts pegged the rework costs and production delays at somewhere north of $30 million across affected plants. The kicker? The humans they let go had contextual judgment the model simply didn't have. This isn't a story about AI being bad. It's a story about automating the wrong thing at the wrong time, without understanding what the role actually required. The first lesson is the one everyone skips. Before you automate anything, you have to actually map what the role does at a granular level. Not the job title, the tasks. Ford's inspectors weren't just checking boxes on a list. They were pattern matching against years of tactile and visual memory, noticing things that weren't on any checklist. When you sit down to automate a customer service rep, for example, are you replacing someone who answers FAQs or someone who de-escalates angry customers, upsells, and catches billing errors nobody flagged? Those are completely different automation problems. Spend 1 week logging every task in the role before you touch a tool. I mean literally, a spreadsheet, task by task. How often, how complex, what judgment it requires. The second lesson is about asymmetric risk. Some roles, when AI gets them wrong, cost you a little. Others cost you a client, a lawsuit, or your reputation. A chatbot that mishandles a return request? Annoying, fixable. An AI tool that generates wrong tax classification advice for your bookkeeper's clients? That's a liability nightmare. IBM actually published internal data from their own automation rollout showing that errors in low-stakes roles cost about 1.3 times what manual processing would have cost. But errors in compliance or financial roles cost between 8 and 14 times the manual baseline when you factor in remediation. The rule is simple. The higher the consequence of an error, the longer you keep a human in the loop. Ford didn't pilot their inspection AI on one line with a rollback plan. They scaled fast. Lesson 3 is that every automation you do should run in parallel with the human process for at least 30 days before you cut anyone or anything loose. A small HVAC company I've seen covered in a case study ran their AI dispatch scheduling tool. They used ServiceTitan's built-in AI routing alongside their human dispatcher for 6 weeks. The AI was routing jobs 23% faster on paper, but it kept under-prioritizing emergency calls because it was optimizing for drive time, not urgency flags. They caught it before it cost them a customer. If they just switched cold, they'd have had a furious client with a broken furnace in January. Parallel pilots feel slow. They're actually the fastest path to safe automation. Here's the number that shocks most small business owners. Deloitte's 2024 automation survey found that 61% of companies that automated a role spent more in the first year than the salary they were replacing because of integration costs, prompt engineering, error correction, and retraining. That doesn't mean automation is a bad deal long term. Most of them broke even by month 14 to 18. But if you're budgeting this like, I'll save Sarah's salary starting month 1, you're going to be in trouble. Budget for 3 to 6 months of overlap costs. Budget for someone's time to manage the tool. Budget for the occasional bad output that a human has to catch and fix. The savings are real, they're just not immediate. So what should you actually automate right now? The roles with the best risk-to-reward ratio for small businesses in 2025 are ones with high volume, low stakes per transaction, and clear rules. First-line email triage with a tool like Zapier and a GPT-4o integration automatable. Social media first drafts using something like Buffer's AI Assistant, automatable. Invoice data entry with tools like Dext or auto entry, absolutely automatable. Companies report 5 to 8 hours saved per week. The roles that are not ready yet, anything involving real client relationships, nuanced judgment calls, or regulated advice. AI can support those roles. It can't replace them yet without real risk. Ford learned that lesson at $30 million. You can learn it here for free. Look, AI automation is genuinely one of the best tools small business owners have right now. I'm not here to scare you off it. But Ford's situation, and honestly, dozens of smaller businesses that went too fast on the wrong roles, shows that the move fast and automate everything approach has a real financial cost. Map the role first. Understand the stakes. Pilot before you cut. Budget honestly. And start with high-volume, low-stakes tasks. If you want a weekly breakdown of which AI tools are actually worth it for small businesses, with honest numbers and no fluff, subscribe to our free newsletter at iadigest.com. We cover one tool, one workflow, one real use case every week. Links in the description.